Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the man cave. All right. Well, as I've had many viewers request, and I've wanted one for a long time, and I decided that I was going to go ahead and bite the bullet, and I got the B-24D Liberator from Motion RC. Sorry, the glare might be on the screen there. Well, anyways, we're going to take it out of the box, look at everything, and put it together. All right, stay tuned, and let's change our camera view, and we'll look down, and you can see everything, how it's all laid out. Open it up. FYI, I have already opened this just to make sure everything was perfect, but I didn't take anything out. I did take the fuse out, but I just want to make sure everything was in there. But everything's just the way it is when you open up the box, so you'll know what you're getting into. So holds tight. I want to apologize. I did the entire unboxing with no audio. I didn't realize that my little audio plug was not all the way plugged in, but I took it's like all these other Motion RC or these big reputable companies. Every single piece is protected. Every single piece has wrapped in its own plastic, its own piece, all protected in the foam. It just very simple. 2 parts of the coffin, very like all the other unboxings. Everything's protected and in perfect shape. So we'll be right back. Let's start building it together now. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do, put your plane on a plane stand. Now this is the Hobby King large plane stand. Sometimes it's in stock, sometimes it's not, but anyways, that's what you're going to want to do. All right, put it the top side up where you can read the Audrey. You got your vertical stabilizer or horizontal stabilizer. Horizontal. Okay, you got all these wires here. You're going to need to unfurl these. Okay. Hey, you know what? You're going to want to unfurl those. Now, I like to unfurl these things by pulling on them. Pull one end here and then pull them straight through with your hand. And that straightens them out where they don't curve so much. Lay that off to the side. All right, you're going to start grabbing one half of your vertical stabilizer. You're going to want to unfurl that also. Okay. And like I say, I like to grab one piece of it and then pull it straight through my fingers. Pull it tight. And that will straighten that wire out a whole lot more. Okay. Now, in your kit, I highly suggest magnetic trays. These 4 big bolts here are for your wings. These other smaller bolts in the middle, all Phillips said, this is going to be to hold on your verticals. Okay, not sure yet what that one single one is just yet, but we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and open up these middle. And that's what I'm doing. All right, got all them there. Okay. Now, remember I told you about that go get 'em wire? Okay, that's the AC cutting on. This is the top. Okay, you're going to want this side out. So this is going to go like that. Okay, so take your go get 'em wire, turn this upside down with that hoop side available. Okay, and fish that through. See how that come out? Okay, take this wire, fish that through there. Get it started. Okay, and pull that through. Got that there. Of course, you gotta try to hold this. You move your go get them wire out of the way for right now. Okay, pull that wire. I gotta hold the wrong wire now. Okay, put the go get them wire down. All right, pull this one here. See? All right. Now, see how that's gonna go? Got those two holes right there. Those two holes there. All right, you got a corner wing spar that's going to fit right in there like that. Those three sections there, FBI would call that a clue. All right, put that in there nice and tight like that. Okay, set that off the side. Get yourself a good Phillips head screwdriver, preferably one that's magnetic. Okay, and you're going to drive these home. Should be able to put that in there nice and flush. See? Notice how they're kind of off-centered there from each other? That gives a lot of stability. You'll feel a very obvious bottoming out point. Okay, now set that down like that. We'll go ahead and unfurl our other one, our other vertical. Okay. Remember, you're going to pull that tight. Okay, we'll go ahead, grab my go get 'em wire. Go ahead and fish that on through there. Came out over here. I'm going to grab this wire here, or the servo wire, make a loop, push that back in there a little bit with my finger, and then I'm going to pull that on through there. See, just like that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, go ahead and pull that tight to where, looky there. See it's pulling up? Okay, same deal. It's only going to fit one way. Okay, those holes there, all those protrusions. Pull that wire tight. All right. Grab my screws. Okay. Like I say, you go down so far, and then you're going to feel an obvious bottoming out point. Do not try to push it beyond that obvious bottoming out point, okay? Don't go any further than that. Once you feel that bottom out, stop right there. Okay, now just to show you, hopefully you can see at an angle, you can see how much those actually are recessed in there. They are recessed about maybe 1/8 of an inch in there. So that's how far deep you need to go. About 1/8 of an inch in there. All right, now look what we got here. And look what we got here. All right, So, and I say all right an awful lot. All right, all right, all right, all right. Take your hatch off, okay? Because you're going to feed that whole bundle of wires through there. Grab your, now you can get fancy and try to get all this in one shot. However way you want to do it, but you have got 4 wires that you've got to fit through this channel. But as you can see, that's a pretty big channel, and the whole thing is dedicated. There's no, I don't see any, looking down that channel, I don't see anything that's going to stop him. So I should, in theory, this should work pretty simple. Now, you know about they say about great laid plans, right? All right. That should come out the other end there. Up. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to try doing it their way. Okay. I've got this sitting on the table just below it. And I'm going to try. We'll have to fish these through this go get 'em wire one at a time. Be careful with these labels. You want to leave these labels on, because you're not going to have any idea what they're go to. Okay. This is the down and dirty on putting these things together. I'm showing you all of it. Now I might edit out, you know, like putting 4 screws in the same area. All right. Now I should have one more wire to go through. But things that are like super monotonous, things like that, lots of times I'll edit that kind of stuff out. I'm trying to fit all those 4 wires to that same hole. All right, all 4 are looped through there. Okay, pretty big channel. I'm going to kind of push that through. I'm going to come down here, grab that wire, and looky there. Looky there. It's all coming through. The whole thing. All right, there's my big bundle. All right, now I'm not going to go any further. I'm going to take my time now. I'm going to pull. Don't be in a hurry. Remember, you paid better part of over $500 for this thing. Don't be in a big hurry. Just because you're wanting to get this model together, take your time. Carefully pull these through that go get 'em wire again. Think about the time and savings this is to this go get 'em wire. I'm so glad you don't have to fashion your own. But once you get one through there, it should be a lot easier to get the rest of them through here. I'm just taking them out of the go get 'em wire is all I'm doing. All right. And believe it or not, that's probably going to be about the hardest part of the whole build. All right. Got them wires there. I'm going to go ahead and pull them the rest of the way tight. Seeing what individual ones have slack. Okay. All right, now that whole bundle should now be even. Now I can lay that down there in that saddle just like that. There's my 4 wires that I just fed through. Okay. Now, let's change our view for just a second. All right, now we've got the end of our horizontal stabilizer there. Now, you're going to take, you've got these 4 screws left. Don't lose them. You don't have a screw loose like I do. And then back to the plane. All right, that's going to be too much of a screwdriver. All right, very much, this is where I like using a magnetic screwdriver, okay? I'm going to support model from underneath, okay? There I go with that K again. K. There has a very obvious bottoming out point like a lot of these things. Remember, you're taking a metal screw and you're going into a hard plastic mount. So you don't want to go nuts. You don't want to really crank it down too tight. And you've got 4 of these. Okay. I personally think this should have been metal. These should be on in a metal, but this is an older model. Okay. 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 And your last I like using the tips of my fingers on these screwdrivers. If it's fingertip tight, that's good enough. All right, now that's on there. Okay, we're going to turn our attention now to the wings. We don't put props, those kind of things on till last. All right, so let's get our model turned. All right, now if you look, you've got two different size of wing spars. Got the big one up front and the little one in the back. Okay, so it's obvious how they go. Go ahead and take wires from the back, get them out of the way. Now, you grab your wings. Make sure you grab the appropriate wing. For some reason, it just makes things a whole lot easier. Okay, you got this big thing of wires, okay, on the end of the wing. Let's go ahead, get you positioned a little bit different. We'll go ahead and unfurl all this. By the way, this is a little pro tip, and I want you to consider. A lot of people like to use zip ties to secure wiring and stuff. Not zip ties, but bread ties. What do you got inside your plane? Okay, what do you got in there? You got a bunch of electronics. What's inside of a bread tie? A metal wire. Do you really want a floating metal piece of metal that's not designed to be there floating around? Use a plastic zip tie. Bread ties have metal, they conduct electricity, and why run the chance of that interfering with your signal? Use plastic zip ties, not bread ties. Okay, there's my soapbox. All right, pull all these out. Okay, you should have a total of 4. Okay, you got 2 negative, 2 positives. And then you got the ribbon that controls everything. Okay, take your wing. All right, you got your 2 holes, large and small. Oh, this had a little bit of, just a little foam protection there. All this, you're going to be taking this on and off. This is a big model, okay? All that's going to fit through that hole right there, okay? I'm going to move all this off to one side, okay? All that is going to be fitting through this hole on a regular basis. You're going to be taking this wing on and off on lots of times. So I'm going to go ahead and fit some wing spars through there. Put my wing spar in the back. Let that get lined up. And you're going to be putting 4 things. Okay, or actually 5 things. 2 red, 2 black, and the ribbon. 2 red, 2 black, and the ribbon. Okay. What you might want to do is take a zip tie and connect all these. That way it's just kind of like a one-piece type thing, but leave it loose, just to make it easier. Okay, slide that wing on. I'm sorry, I know this is at the top of the screen there, but slide that wing on, holding a hold, getting a hold of everything, pulling it through. Okay. All right, now that wing is on there. Okay, we're going to turn the model all the way around. Okay, we're not going to hook anything out. We're not going to put bolts in the wing or anything like that. We're just getting everything hooked up. All right, I'm going to unfurl everything here on this wing. Get rid of that stinking bread tie, which is handy and convenient, but not good for around electronics. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm completely wrong. And something I want you to consider, if you look at them other wires and you look at these are a different size. This way you cannot hook this thing up wrong. Okay, you're not going to be able to hook it up wrong. So don't worry. You think, well, man, look at all them wires. No, don't worry about it. Okay, you can't hook it up wrong. They thought of that. All right, same thing. We're going to feed all this through, right through there. And I know this is at the top of the screen, but let me get you. This is all going to be fitting through that. All these wires are going to be fitting through right through there. So I'm going to go ahead and line up my wing spar right off the bat. Sorry, I had a bad angle there for you to see. Get the other one lined up in there. The other wing spar. All right, now I'm grabbing. Now all I'm doing now, grabbing all these wires and start fishing them through. Get this wing closer in. Okay. Let all that fish through there. Okay, the only thing that didn't make it through is ribbon. All right. Fish all that through. Reach down there with my fingers. Grab it all. Maybe, possibly. There we go. You got to just find your little way of doing this because you're going to be doing this all the time. Most people are not going to be able to keep this model intact. You might be lucky enough to have a big enough vehicle and be able to store it this way, but most people don't have that. All right. Now, those wings are on there. Now we're going to attach them for good using those wing bolts. All right. Got that there. You're going to be using your four large screws now. I found them. All right. Maybe if I get them to. And this is where I get the opportunity to use my Mac Daddy screwdriver. My big boy. My big boy. All right, now we are screwing a metal screw into a metal housing. It's obvious how it goes. You cannot miss it. And these has an obvious body and out point. You cannot get this wrong. Okay. If you get this step wrong, you might as well just forget about modeling. Because if you get this wrong, then you're got problems. All right. There's that one's in. All right, grab the whole thing. Hey, she's not a little bitty thing. She's a big plane. She's big. Okay, enough of that, right? Okay. Yeah, those seated in there. That's the air conditioner starting. Got to have an air conditioner in the man cave. I mean, I know this is Florida, okay? Okay, that's nice and that's in there. Okay. And that's in there. Now, got that done. Okay. Got the model, all the basic model is put together, the basic parts. Okay. But now we got this big old nest egg of issue here. Okay. So we got to figure out what we're going to do with this. And that is not hard at all. You're not going to be securing this stuff here down, okay? What I'm going to show you next, you're not going to secure this stuff down. This stuff you're going to leave floating as I hit the, all right. You're at the field, okay? You're going to put your plane together. You just slid both your wings together, right? Okay. Look at what you got here. Look at these sizes, okay? Now, go ahead and get rid of your, move this stuff here out of the way. Okay, well, you know what? Let's not skip this step. Let's go ahead and get this step because I don't want to lead you down the wrong path here, because this should have already been hooked up. So your tail should have already been hooked up. So we're going to move all this stuff out of the way. And what I want you to look at, okay, you've got the two bottom, you got four positions here. Let me zoom you in a little bit there. Okay. See, you've got four positions. The bottom two are elevator, the top two are rudder. Okay, so if you look, right up here, you can't really see it. See how it says S plus and minus? The S is the signal. That means this white wire or the yellow wire or whatever the lightish color wire is going to go this way. This is an elevator, plugged elevator. Okay, so I'm going to put this at the very bottom. And I know that's how that one's going to go. Here's my other elevator. Oh, that's rudder. Here's my other elevator. Elevator. That yellow wire is going to go that way. Okay. Okay, so those are signal wires are towards the back. Rudder, you guessed it. Go right there. And the other rudder is going to fit right there in the middle. Okay. Might have to kind of pull this apart, fit everything in there together. Then take the corners of your thumbs and push everything in. Okay? That's what I like to do. The corners of my thumb, the edge of my thumbs. Now look on this side, look. All that's yellow on this side. All this side is all dark, all negative. Okay? So now you want to, by the way, this right here, that's a tube. All right, so this now, that's your wing spar. Go ahead and get this stuff out of the way, and let's deal with with these wires here. Okay, because this is what you're going to be dealing with every time you come to the field. All right, this would be a good time to take a zip tie, and get these things secured and out of the way, because you don't want to have to keep bumping into these. Okay. All right. Now we have this stuff here. Okay. Back you up a little bit. All right. These only fit one way. All right. Big one goes here. See, this is big, this is big. If you try to put this one in there, it just falls right out. So look for the other large one. Ah, there's the other large one. So both of those fit together. Okay, well, I've got these red ones here. Well, you've got these smaller battery leads. Red one there, and the red one there. You think, well, that's fine and dandy. What about the black? Same situation. These are smaller. Here's smaller. If it doesn't fit together, if it falls right apart, you got the wrong one. Those are together. Here's some bigger ones. Okay. So see, when you're done, you can't get that wrong. So even if you forget it, you can't get that wrong. Now this BEC, you want to plug this into an open port. What I like to do is I like to plug this into my bind port. Okay, so it won't fire without. I plug this into my bind port. It just simply needs power. Doesn't have to have signal. All right, now, the other thing you're going to take are these two ribbons. Okay, see these teeth? These teeth here? Look at those notches there. Take this side. The notch sides are going to go towards the outer wing. Okay. That's going to go right in there, just like that. And this is going to go in there, just like that. Okay. And now you have everything put together. Now, you can leave that draped over like that. You can fish it underneath, whatever is convenient for you. Okay? Because we've got to remember now, the hatch has to go on there. Tongue and groove. Okay? And it fits fine with the hat with those wires on top. So I might just leave them wires on top. That way I can get to them a little bit easier and let that just kind of drape like that. Okay? Now, since I'm going to be plugging this into my receiver, this section here that has the BE, these things here, these two things here, I'm probably going to leave them inside the model because I don't want to be yanking on the receiver all the time. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is right here is where I'm going to mount my receiver, okay, with the antennas going back that way and everything get plugged in, or I might plug it underneath. I'm probably going to put it right here on this hard plastic section right there. It's probably where I'm going to be using a Spectrum 6-channel receiver with dual diversity antennas. All right, let's back you up. We'll start talking about peripherals and propellers. Okay. All right. First things first. Let's glue on something that's not going to be coming off, which is the windshield. Living pilots. That's not going to come off. Okay? We're going to use our Chinese glue. The nice thing about this Chinese glue, you see that little pin in there? See that right there? You just, well, that's what normally works. That's the first time I've ever had one didn't break. Well, wow. Okay, well, when all else fails, use a knife. Okay, we have a hole in there now. All right, now, for a canopy like this, there's a border, okay? There's a border there. So all I'm going to do is run the glue around on the border of this. Trying my best to keep it off the glass. Then I'm going to line up the first border here. Let that just drop into place. Just like that. Drop that into place and leave that alone. All right. Now, here's my nose, right? Okay. Okay. This is the section that I want to put on. See how that fits on there? So guess what I'm going to do? Okay. Probably screwing up. I bet you there's supposed to be a gun that goes in here first. Won't hurt that glue to sit for just a moment while I make sure I don't have a gun that goes in there. Well, yeah, but you put it in afterwards. Okay, so I didn't screw up. All right. Okay. See how that's going to go? I'm just going to let that marry on in there. Just like that. Okay. Now that gun, I think, is going to go right down there. Fairly certain. Yep, that's where it goes. And the guns are all in this kit. It's all them things right there. Let's go ahead and open all that up. Believe it or not, this table, years ago, used to be our dining room table. It ain't now. Okay, I don't know what this is. Oh, this is the top antenna piece. All right, got this. All right, we're gonna get our, don't know what those are. Gonna take our guns, they're all the same. You're gonna take your pointy end, see right there, that hole? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make a hole like that, see? Okay, I'm going to pull it back out. I'm going to put a dab of glue on that. And that will, as they say, seal the deal. Okay. Now we got the front of that model on there. Okay, while we're here at this end, we're going to be putting in all of our antenna. Okay, and other guns. Now you've got these things that look like whiskers. Okay, they are going to go right up here, just like that. Okay. Just like that. But I think they go tilted up. Probably tilted up. You really can't tell from the picture, but probably tilted up. Well, let's see, right. Okay, yeah. All right, it's labeled right and left. It's labeled right and left. And just so you know, when you're putting these models together, everything's done from the pilot's standpoint. So right means this is going to go this way. So it is going to tilt up. Okay, so I'll put a little bit of glue right there and fit that in there. Okay. All right. And these are pretty stout. I thought these were going to be kind of weak, but no, these got some they got some butt to them. They got some butt to them. All right. Look like to me those look like catfish whiskers. All right, we're going to take some guns now. And, all right, if you look, you got little windows up here. And there's a little hole right there. Now, that's where a gun would normally be sticking out. So you're going to make a hole with it. Okay. And this is where the model is going to be a delicate thing because you're going to be wanting to grab this thing, take it to the field, and you've got all these guns and things sticking out. You got to be careful about how you grab it. Okay. So put that there like that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to wedge it right in there, and there's a structure back there. I'm just going to wedge it right in there. And that way, it's got two parts. You'll see there's a wall back there. I'm just pushing it in the wall. Let me see if I can get you to actually see this. You see right in there? See that back wall there? I'm shoving that back in there. That way it's got a connect, and it's got some glue on the end of it. That way we're in good shape. Okay, we're going to pause for just a minute. I need to check something. All right, we're back. I just had to make sure we were still recording. All right, now we got our front guns put on. All righty, we got our front guns put on. Let's see what we got going next. All right, we're going to turn the model around and we're going to do the rear. Okay. Try to do this with as little damage as possible. All right, now you got your tail end here. Okay, you got Audrey back here. You want to grab these guns, and these guns are just going to glue in, just like everything else. Put them in straight, just like this. Okay, you're just going to, I would put them at the apex or at the furthest point here, just like that. Okay, come back, put yourself some glue. And I know it may not be scale, but I'm going to shove it pretty far down in there, like that. I know that's not scale. Actually, that is too far. Okay, because you can actually poke through the other side. But the more that hangs out, the more chance you're going to grab it on stuff. It's going to hit on stuff. Okay. That's pretty good right there. Okay. Alrighty, now we got that part done to the tail. And now somewhere along, okay, now we got to add that front to that top antenna, which is going to go here, and that is these two sections. You're going to glue this together. Actually, you're going to do this like, oh yeah, that is going to go like that. Okay, like that. Okay, I think that's how you're going to do it, because it doesn't show it. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of glue on either side of that. Okay, and then there's a notch there. Okay. I'm going to shove it in there just a little bit more. Get the excess off, rub that on your fingers, because you got to have glue on your fingers at all times. There's a line right there where you're going to put this. You don't really have to worry about dry fitting this stuff. It goes in there pretty good. Okay. Probably not supposed to fit flush like that, but mine is. Okay. Yeah. It's not quite flush. I mean, it's there. Okay. And that takes care of that. All right, now the top turret. We're going to need to take care of the top turret. Okay. And you got these channels that are open on these top turrets here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove these guns right there. First thing I'm going to do is make a hole with the pokey part. Make a hole with the pokey part. To where they're even, fairly even with each other. Okay, like that. All right. Then I'm going to pull them back out and put a little bit of glue on them. Okay. I'm going to twist as I put those in, just like that. A twisting action as I put it in there. And that'll pull that glue. If you do a twisting action, it'll pull that glue in. Okay. That takes care of that. Now, let's turn our attention to these side windows. And we got some more guns we got to use. Whoa. Try not to drop your model off your plane stand. It's never a good thing. All right, got this window here. Got that, fits right on there just like that. Okay, so just like we done everything else, put a little glue on the outer perimeter of it. Keep it off the clear section. Make sure you get plenty of glue on your fingers, because you are not putting models together if you don't get glue on your fingers. I don't make these rules, it's just the way it is. Okay, now that one you're going to kind of let that sit for a little while. Alright, you got that hole, that little spot right there. This is where you're going to put a gun. Now remember, when you're grabbing this model, be cognizant of that hole of these guns sticking out. This is one of the reasons that maybe hold off on getting this model for a while, because I know I'm going to be hitting these guns all the time. My poor B-25 I've got, and I don't think it has a gun left on it. Alright. Alright, just get that poke through there like that. Oh. Now see, that glue, gotta have to be careful with it. Keep an eye on it. I wouldn't put any tape to hold that down. No, just take the time, hold it down, make sure it's good and tacked on there. Okay, just take your time. There's no point in rushing this thing. You paid a lot of money for this model, do it right. Okay, now we're gonna turn the whole thing around. Okay. Careful them guns. Careful them guns. Okay. Now, do our last window. Get you in there a little bit closer. Alright, the side that's kind of marred up a little bit, that's the side you're going to use to put the glue on. See, my problem is I'm looking at what I'm doing, but I'm not paying attention to how it looks on the screen. So sometimes my videos don't exactly come out great. Or I'm out of focus, or out of frame, or I'm in the way, you're not seeing what I'm doing. Okay? Take the pointy end, poke it right in there, just like that. Pull it back out, put you a little bit of glue on there, and then with a twisting action, put that back in there just like that. Now, what we have to figure out now is what the heck these things are for. Okay, keep an eye on my windows, making sure they are not coming up. Gotta hold them in place for a little while. Okay. Yep, I don't know what these things are. We're going to pause for just a minute so I can figure out what the heck those things are. Oh, and that last little screw was for the bottom of that thing there. Bottom of that turret there, in case you lose it. No idea what these things are for. No idea whatsoever. They got nothing to do with the props. I don't know. I don't see them anywhere. I don't know what they are. So, since I don't know, I'm not going to start gluing them on. You will have 2 guns left over for the other turret nose option. All right. Now that I'm going to say we got all the peripherals done, let's turn our attention to the prop. To getting these props put together. That must have something to do with this other set of the other turrets, because I don't see anything else about that. All right, now these props are going to turn inward, okay? Inboard, outboard. They're going to turn inward. Go ahead and figure out how you're going to be grabbing this thing. All right, so let's start. Put our glue off the side. Get our one tool. I'm sure we're only going to be needing this. We'll start opening up the bag. Make sure you got everything out of the bag. Now let's make sure we're following the instructions on this, because you don't want these to. Well, it says, as shown in photo, fix the propeller on the motor as shown in photo, install left, right propellers. So you're going to have to be paying attention to how the models turn, how the props turn, okay? As in the picture here. Okay, if you look, every one of these, they turn inwards, okay? So you pay attention to the side of the blade, okay? This is bladed this way, so you'd have to turn it this way. So both this prop can go here, this prop is the opposite. Okay, since this is going to go in, this blade is turned towards the inside of the model. So this is going to go over here. And this one's going to go here. Okay, now I'm not putting them on permanent, I'm just showing you. So you've got opposing propellers in each bag. All right, since this one's going to go this way, this is going to go over here. And since this one's going to go, uh-oh. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, this goes over here. Okay, gotta go this way. So this side, the blade is angled towards the nose. On this side, the blade is angled towards the nose. In other words, if you push the propeller this way, it should push the air back. If you turn the propeller this way, it push the air back. All right. Now, what you have here in this baggie, you got all your nuts and washers. You get one of each, 4 of each. I mean, you got one of each type, a count of 4. Don't lose this stuff. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and open all this up. And we're going to put our nuts in here first. More than likely, these are not magnetic. Okay. Lots of times, this sort of thing is not magnetic. Okay, but at least by putting it in there, I can keep track of it. Okay, now, then you've got these 4 lock nuts. These like 2.5, and they got a little bit of looks like thread lock on them. So I'm going to have to go get me the right tool for that. I didn't bring that one with me. I have it. I just got to grab it. And these probably will be magnetic. All right. So, all right, here they are. Pause. I'm going to get the 2.5. 2.5. Okay. All right. Now, the way these props go on, you're going to have the receiving end, which is flat on the back. Okay. We're going to do this outer one over here first. This is the butt end of it. May have to smash these on here. Okay. You're going to take the top half. whole thing should sandwich together. Should sandwich together. Like that. Okay. This is the front. Let me make sure of that. No, sorry. I got it backwards. I've got it backwards. So, if you got to undo it, try not to cut yourself. Okay, that's probably why it didn't fit so poorly. Yeah, okay. The bigger, beefier end goes towards the plane. Okay, and that's how it should look. Okay, the beefier end, that right there, that side, goes towards the plane. Okay, you got a hex drive shape there. Okay, hex shape here. Okay, and that's going to fit right onto that. Okay, you're going to take your 2.5 hex drive. I say you are. Yep, that's exactly right. You're going to put your nub on. Okay, and then this is going to screw right in there, tightening the whole thing down. Something I, because I'm an idiot, forgot, before you put those hubs on, take this washer, put that on there. All right, you got these. You got 4 of them. I'm starting to think, where's my washers at? Put those on. Then you take these nuts, put them on. Okay. Tighten everything down. Oh. Then you take that 2.5 hub and anchor that down on there. Okay. And that's what I'll get back as soon as we get all 4 done. Once you got her all, that's how all the props will look after it's all on there. And the model's all put together. So the only thing we got left now is put ourselves in a receiver and bind this bad boy up, and we'll be right back after. I'll show you how to set it all up electronically, and we'll be right back. Well, all right, we got her all put together. She's all purdied up. Now, I say all purdied up, she doesn't have any lights, but we do have her all put together. Got her all bound up. I got my CG worked out. I've got all my rates taken care of. Now, I don't have the rates necessarily by the book, but pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. All right, let me show you my flying rates that I've chosen. It's pretty close. The book is like 85 to 100 or 70 to 100 on all of them. So I pretty much got 70% for below and 100% for high and 85 for mid with 30% expo on everything, but with 40% on rudder. But let me just show you what that looks like. Now so let me show you what that looks like. Now, yes, I do have the props on in here. Okay. Changed my configuration. I have to look at the screen sometime. I've changed how my layout in the man cave is to accommodate larger models and move this table out in the middle where I have more room. All right, these are my flying rates. 100% throws, 30% expo, all the way around. On my high rate, mid rate on everything is 85. with 30% expo. Now, rudder, however, I'm telling you wrong. Rudder, I just have one rate, 100%, 40% expo. But on aileron and elevator, it is the same. It's 100%, 30% expo, with my low being
low rate
70. Like that's slow. 30% expo on elevator. Ailerons are set 70 with 30% expo. That's my low rate. Pretty close to the book. Now, the flap settings, however, are right down to the letter by the book. All right, flap D or D. Flaps up, negative 100%. Takeoff flaps, negative 50. Okay, they don't come down much. They're split flaps with a 10% down elevator mix. Landing flaps, 0% with a 20% down elevator mix, and that equates in millimeters for the down, 1.5 millimeters down for landing, and 3 millimeters down for takeoff, or for land. I'm sorry, let me start over.
Takeoff flaps.
No, for takeoff flaps, I'm sorry, 1.5 millimeters down. In other words, it takes it back to neutral, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then landing 3 millimeters down for landing flaps. All right, 2-second deployment. Now, when you're putting your model together and you got everything nice and trim, and everything is bench trim, you want to go in there and raise your elevators 1.5 millimeters up. Okay, that's per the book, so that whenever I do takeoff flaps, it's now neutral. And then landing flaps, it's 1.5 millimeters down. But you're flying, for regular flying, you need to have your elevators up 1.5 millimeter by the book, and that just happens to be the same width. Let me get over there. That just happens to be the exact same width of the elevator here. So that just happens to be the exact. So you can easily, easily measure that. All right. Show you the gear. Now, I didn't do the suspension gear. So just to let you know, I didn't do the suspension gear. I'm leaving it stock. But one thing I discovered as handling this thing in the man cave here is because the belly is completely flat, okay, and I've got a nice flat section here, I can easily turn it over without hitting any of them guns or anything. All right, now look at them gear. How quickly they go up and down. All right.
The gear is down.
1, 2, 3, maybe 4 seconds. They don't take no time at all. All right, now with the gear down, we can talk about CG. CG is 76 millimeters back from the leading edge of the wing closest to the fuse. All right, at the right here. Okay, closest to the fuse right here. So I got marks underneath there. But if you look, you've got this hard place for the bolt to go in the wing, about 1/2 inch back from that. So just feel for that opening. Put your finger right on the edge of that. Okay, and that's pretty good right there. Actually, it's about an inch back. But that's pretty good. That's pretty level right there. Alrighty. Well, there you go. Set her back down. Yes, now I did not have to calibrate the SC, and there's no speed brake. Okay. Now, yes, I know the props are on in the man cave. I did calibrate the SC. I say I didn't have to. I did calibrate the SCs, but they really didn't need it because they had instant throttle response. Okay. Now.
Motor's hot and will cut you.
All right.
Please be careful.
Everything's clear. All right. They're moving. Uh-oh. I'm cutting up the manual. Better cut up the manual than my finger, right? All right. But I want you to pay attention to something about when this model first came out, a lot of people had to individually calibrate the ESCs, and Pilot Ryan did a wonderful video on how to do that. Well, they're calibrated, okay, and the stop, the brake is off. You don't want the brake on there, because see, they'll keep spinning for a little bit. That means the brake is still on. But if you look, even if they were out of calibration, the middle ones are together, the outer ones are together. So that means no matter how I hook it up, I'm okay. Okay, you can't, either the outer they're going to stop first, then the inner, or the inner, then the outer. Either way, as long as it's not one side or the other. Yeah, so, and I've got immediate throttle response. Okay, turn my throttle cut on.
Props are secured.
Now I've got nothing. All right, now I
Safe mode.
did put in safe. Okay, not that I'm going to use it, but and you can't really tell, but if you look at these control surfaces, you can kind of see them holding their position. Maybe you can see that elevator starting to go up and hold its position. All right, that just shows you that safe is working. All right, and then I can turn the gyro off.
Ain't no gyro. Manual only.
And now I got nothing, okay? Or I can put AS3X on.
AS3X mode.
And you might be able to hear a little bit. I got the gyros turned way down. Alrighty. Now, I've been toying with the idea of a clear coat, of a high gloss, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm thinking leaving it just the way it is and give a satin finish. In other words, just a clear coating to protect the foam, but no gloss. I kind of like this matte look, but I want to protect the foam, but I'm all out of satin finish. So I'll probably fly her a couple of times, and then I'll end up putting the clear coat on. Now, I did have to go in there and manually adjust one of the flaps to make it flush, but that's no big deal. And remember, they leave those ball links kind of in the halfway connection point, so it's very easy to unsnap and snap and then adjust and snap it into position. Now understand, this is not a beginner's model, okay? This is not. And this is not meant to be a fighter jet. This is not to be a 3D jet. This is not meant to be some hot rod. This is meant to fly scale. You can do a few minor aerobatics, but this is all about nice scale takeoffs, coming in with them beautiful touch and goes, okay? Nice big turns, you know, it's a bomber. Fly it like a bomber. Okay, that's the way you're supposed to fly it. Not like I normally fly things. I'm going to be flying this thing scale. Now let me show you the internals. Okay, like I said, throttle cut is on. Yes, I know I've got the props on, but I wanted to show you everything. Okay, get you in better position here. Okay. All right, now I haven't done a range test yet. I haven't taken it outside. But I have two 3300 Sokokin batteries laying side by side with each other with Velcro on the bottom. I've got the wiring coming this way. Underneath there is that Spectrum AR637T. I got one antenna going straight back there, and then one going down and going up, so that way they're at 90 degrees from each other. But that's my setup inside. The hatch fits down there nice and pretty. Put that on there, turn your turn around, and that's that. This is the problem with being a one-man show here. Camera precious, and will film for me at the field, but she's not going to stand up for these long these kind of videos here. Well folks, thank you so much for watching. This is the B-24 Liberator. Basically, I had so many viewers say, hey, we would love to see you review that. We know it's not a new model, we know it's been out for a long time, but we really would love to see you fly it and review and your take on it. And after having so many requests and the fact that I think it's awesome anyways, I went ahead and got it. It may push my F-35 purchase, the F-35C back for a while, and I may not be able to be one of the first people to do the F-35, but it is what it is. I also bought that robotic camera, and I'm kind of hurting for money right now, so my plane budget with this and that camera is pretty well shot. So I'll do what I can. All right, God bless y'all. Jesus is Lord. We'll have a camera roll next for the Luna sitting on the bench. All right, y'all have a good... the Luna. My Luna's the camera. For the B-24 Liberator sitting on the bench from FLIGHTLINE. I don't think if I said that in the beginning. And remember, my unbox part of the video, I didn't have the audio on, so that won't be it. You'll just see the initial intro and then go right into the build. So, all right, God bless y'all. Jesus is Lord, and God bless you, and all that kind of good stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. Y'all.